Hi guys, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. Much love from me to you. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome to the family. Now, this will be a pattern drafting of an off-shoulder bustier. If it sounds like something you're interested in or a friend or family is interested in, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy. So I've gone ahead to mark 1 inch for my starting point. I'll be marking 10 inches for my bust point, 13 and a half, and 16 for my half length. These are the mark I'm just marking out and making sure I have a straight line. Next, I'm going to be marking out my shoulder. And my shoulder is 13 divided by 2, 6.5 plus half. That gives me 7. And that's what I just marked out there. Now I'll be taking the same measurement downwards towards my chest line, which I obviously skipped. So I'll just connect the lines. Now I'm marking my chest line. Now the formula to get your actual chest line is your bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5. Whatever you get is your perfect chest. So that is what I'm marking out. Now I'm taking 3 inches for my neck width and 3 inches for my neck depth. I'm connecting the lines. I'll be sloping my shoulder by 1 inch. And I'll be marking out my chest line, which I omitted before. Now my chest line is 8 inches, and that is what I am marking out, 8 inches from your starting point. 8 inches. It varies. Just do the maths and you get your chest line. Next up, I'll be marking my nip to nip. That's like from one nipple to the other, divide by 2, or bust circumference. I mean, it's called bust palm, whatever. So I'm marking my nipple to nipple, which is 3.5. And I'm marking it from my waistline through to my bust point. Now I'm dividing my shoulder by 2. You can see what I'm doing here. And I'm connecting the lines. Now I'll take ½ inch from here and 1.5 from here, and I'll take same thing upwards. Now it varies depending on how busty your client is. You could do ½ inch here, 2 inch here, but this client of mine is about bust size of 30, 36 plus. So that was why I was using this measurement. Now, if you want much coverage, you could go half of your armhole. But for this dress, I'm going to go 2 inches above my chest line. Believe me, it has worked magic for both busty and people that are not busty. It works. It is decent enough. Now, I'm just going to connect with a curve. This is my armhole curve. If you have breast curve, whatever curve you have that works for you, why not? So I'm just going to connect a perfect curve. And now I'm going to replace the darts. Remember the 1.5 and ½ inch, total of 2 inch I took from my waist. I'm going to split it equally right here, one on both sides. Now I'm going to connect with my curve to make a perfect cycle, perfect curve, perfect arc. Mind you, I'm making emphasis on perfect because your curve needs to be curving. I don't know how to emphasize it more, because this is where you get what you really want. You need to make sure your curve is curved. Okay? So next up, I'll be imputing my measurements. Now, that's my waist divided by 4. That's what I just marked out, and I replaced my 2 inches. And I'm going to add 1.5 inch seam allowance. That's what I added here, 1.5 for my seam. So I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 4 plus the 2 inch I took plus 1.5 for inseam. Just cross-checking to make sure everything is as it should be. I'm extending my lines because they are not enough for my measurements. So I'm just extending them a little bit. Now I'm just marking out the exact measurements I got at my upper bust. Now on my chest line, I'll be going up by ½ inch and connecting to a curve. You could go lower, you could go below your chest line by 1 2, depends on how much cleavage you want to show. But this bustier is not that revealing, so I'm going up by just half. I'll connect my side lines from my waist to my bust line with a straight line. So I'll be marking out my armhole. I'm just trying to place it well and nice, and I'm marking it out. Next, I'll be connecting my curve to give it a perfect sweetheart neckline. So you see the bust point line. I'm supposed to deduct the difference between the back waist and the front waist there, but there's a trick I picked up which I'm going to apply. I'm actually going to deduct the difference from the waistline and connect it with a curve. Just watch. What I actually deducted here was 1. So my front waistline is 16 and my back waistline is 15. I just deducted that extra 1 here to save the whole stress. Now that I'm certain everything is everything, I'm cutting it out. And watch how I cut it. Now I'm just following these lines and making sure I'm not entering any lines I don't want. Just watch exactly how I'm cutting it. You have to be precise and follow the lines exactly how you mark them, because any mistake could be fatal. Now that I'm done with this, I'll be moving on to draft the back pattern. Now my paper here with me, and as usual, I'll start by leaving 1 inch for my starting point line. Next, I'll be marking my bust point of 10 inches, which is totally unnecessary, and I'll be marking my under bust, also unnecessary. What was really necessary at this back pattern was just your chest line and waistline, but I was just marking everything in case of some people that don't really understand it. So I marked out my bust point of 10, my under bust of 13.5, and my waistline of 15. So that's what you see me marking out, and I'm just rolling these lines to make sure it's visible. Next, I'll be marking my shoulder divided by 2 plus ½ inch, connecting it to my chest line, and I'll be taking my neck width of same 3 inches and neck depth of 1.5. You could do 1, you could do 1.5, whichever works for you, depends on the style sha. But it wasn't really necessary because I was not going to use the up, so I'm not using this. There's no yoke, so there's no need. Now I sloped my shoulder by same 1 inch, and I'm going 2 inches above my chest line. Remember at the front pattern, I went up by 2 inches above the chest line. I actually have to repeat the same thing here. Next, I'll be marking my nip to nip for my dart, which is 3.5 inch, and I'm going to connect the line to make it visible. At the back, your dart line goes straight to your chest line, no longer your bust point, so it's straight to your chest line. Now on both sides of my dart legs, I'm going to take ½ inch. You could take 0.7, that's 3/4, but I advise ½ inch for a start, and that is what I took here. Next, I'm going to take out my measurement plus, remember, always replace your dart. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking my waist measurement divided by 4. I'm replacing my dart, and I'm also adding my 1 inch seam allowance. You could do 1.5 inch seam, you could do 1 inch seam. It all depends on what you want, how much allowance you're willing to give. So I'm just connecting my sides. Now I'm going to mark out my armhole. So I forgot to add space for my zipper allowance, but I rectified it Now I'm just connecting the line. I'm extending the line towards the zipper allowance. As you can see, I'm just making everything visible and clear. Now we can go back to drafting. I just labeled these lines, my chest and my waistline. Next, I'll be drawing out my armhole, making sure it's visible. Now I'll be sloping my back neck to my chest line. I'm taking my back neckline straight to my chest line. I could go below it. It's better to go below than above. It depends on your style, sha, but according to what you're seeing here, I'm just going exactly straight to my chest line. So that's what I'm doing. Now for my zipper allowance, I came out by 1 inch at the chest line and I reduced it by ½ inch at the waistline, and I just connected. That's what you see me doing here, right here. And I'm done. This is my back piece, my side back and my center back. Now I'm just going to cut out my pattern. Now I don't want my back piece to be in 2 pieces, so I'm going to be converting it to 1. And this is how I do it. I slash open my darts, cover the excess, and I tape it down. That's basically all. And you have your 1 piece. So that'll be all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe,